Look at the word, anxiety. Look at how it's spelled in English. Look at what is in the center of the word. Do you see it? Show them on the screen. At the center of your anxiety, if you really trace it, I'm not talking about a medical condition. I'm not a pharmacist. I don't know about all that. I am not a neurologist. I'm saying, spiritually speaking, that the Lord told me at the center of your anxiety is your pride. The reason that you're so anxious is because you've got you at the center. And you can't sustain it because it's not your throne. I mean, even listen to your language, the Lord said. I don't know if I have what it takes. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can make it. You can't spell anxiety without I. It's right in the middle. And you know what other word I is in the middle of? Pride. And maybe the reason that you've been carrying anxiety that you can't get rid of is because you've been bearing weight that you weren't meant to bear. You better humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. Because if you stay weighed down with pride, you're going to be weighed down with anxiety, and God can't lift you up. Casting all your anxiety on Him. See, it's not a command to cast your anxiety on Him. It's a result. The command is to humble yourself under His mighty hand. And when you do, the anxiety goes with the pride. If you would get yourself out of the center and get God on the throne and lift your hands to Him and say, I need you, Lord. I'm a sinful man. Can't step without you, can't breathe without you, can't eat without you, can't pray without you, can't parent without you, can't preach without you, can't work without you, can't live without you, no peace without you, no joy without you. God said, now I'm ready to lift you up above the wind, above the waves, above your pride. Is the reason that you're so anxious because of your pride? Maybe the anxiety is the fruit and the pride is the root. If you would pluck it up by the root, the fruit couldn't grow. Get yourself out the center. Get yourself out the center. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. Well, what if I look stupid? Some of you are about to try something right now that you never tried before. What if I look stupid? Well, I got good news for you. Everybody else is thinking about themselves, not you, so they won't even notice. What if I? Who better to teach us about humility than Peter? And now Peter writes, decades later, to a church under attack. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. For your enemy, the devil, what's he like? He's like a roaring lion. He's looking for somebody to devour. He's looking for somebody who he can shred to pieces with doubt and fear and selfishness. He's looking for somebody that he can get to walk away. And as a pastor, I'm just sick of having to make phone calls and visits with people every week who are being devoured by the enemy. So Peter says this is a time for resistance. This is not a time for you to run. This is a time for you to resist. Yeah, but he's a lion, okay? He is a lion, and he might be licking his lips. And his fangs might be sharp, and he might have you in his sight, and you might have failed, and you might have done it, and you might be going down. But you need to know one thing about this lion, Peter says, is that after you have suffered a little while, God Himself will step in and restore you and make you strong. He's a lion. But the lion is on a leash, He can only go so far. He can only do so much. He can't keep you down forever. Humble yourself under the hand of God, and in due time, come on, this is somebody's due time. This is it. Anxiety stops here. Depression stops here. Fear stops here. In due time, He will lift you up. And the enemies that we're afraid of today will be our testimonies in our tomorrow. I'm going to say that again. The enemies that you fear today will be your testimony of triumph in your tomorrow. God said it's just a little while. The God who has called you into His eternal glory, what lasts forever, after you've suffered a little while, He Himself will restore you. Peter said, I know about it because I've been there. I've had me at the center. I failed so bad I didn't know if I could ever bounce back. I went back to my fishing business because I figured God didn't have any more use for me. But when I was going down, that's where I found His hand. When I was going down, that's when He reached out to me. Just when it looked like the lion had me in his sights, that's when the God of all grace, the God of all provision, the God of all power, do I have a witness that immediately He'll reach down and pick you up?